Hello and welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We're back with Game 2 from this best of three semi-final between Phalanx Team and We Love Bacon. Who was it? We Love Bacon currently up 0 wins. Up 1 win over Phalanx Team. We're off to a great start already here. I'm Zayden here with my co-caster Verbalocity as we get this Game 2 rolling, Verb.
Yep, we are going to be seeing, in terms of the picks and bans, a little bit of a shake-up in terms of the order of which they were banned out. We see the Jonqui and the Noir being banned out by We Love Bacon first, with Phalanx opting to get rid of Mercury and the Nemesis actually going to be deleted here out of the first step. But then the next picks came out, and then finally we saw the Janus being banned out as last by Bacon, while Phalanx Team opting to get rid of Circuit. And in terms of the picks coming out here, we're seeing some new people coming into the fray. Particularly this Cali pick up here by We Love Bacon. Introduce us to We Love Bacon, Mr. Jordan.
We Love Bacon. Keck on the AD carry Hunter Apollo. Pybear on the support Geb. Aimless on the... I should know this. Mid lane Vulcan. There we go. Ori Troll in the solo lane as Vamana. And finally Nan in the jungle as Thor. So finally a Thor pick today. We haven't seen him even though he wasn't really getting banned out a whole lot.
He got banned like once or twice, but even when he was available, no one seemed to pick him up, which was interesting. But their opponents will be Phalanx. Oh no, We Love Bacon. I haven't switched them around on my screen yet. We have We Love Bacon opting to pick up Kep on the Apollo, Pybear on the Geb, Aimless on the Vulcan, Oratro. Oh,
I didn't switch. So when you said We Love Bacon, I did We Love Bacon.
Apologies. I'm apparently now messing up. Today's wonderful. We have Phalanx. We have Phalanx Team. We have Varia on the Ram once again. We have Marcel's on the Agony. Then we have Yueling on the Athena. Zyphos on the Kali Jungle. And finally Zonk. Oh no, Kali Solo. And then finally we have Zonk on the Jungle Freya. Kali Solo! Okay, this is interesting.
Against the Vamana as well. These are those things where we'd really love to see the picks and bans, exactly what order this stuff all came out. Because Kali solo lane isn't a common pick in the first place. She's reasonably effective. The Lash has some pretty good range poke. Not actually hiding around that corner. Didn't roam off, which you might expect, and he's just going to walk back to lane. He did get spotted up there by Zyphos. Little bit unfortunate. It's one of those, you want the Magellan's Attunement and the Berserker Barrage online, but you really can't gank without that Tectonic Rift.
Yeah, and that double tap you can get from a Thor is devastating early on. Most Thors these days have one of two paths to go down. If they're confident they want kills, you can level Mjolnir's Attunement first and rely on the double tap for huge damage. And then, or if you want to go for a bit more of a farming strat, just go for Berserker's Barrage on top of that, and then you'll be fine. So I'd like to see how Nan specifically adapts to the fact that it's going to be Jungle Freya. So the ganks aren't going to be the strongest in the world, but once the gank happens and the dueling starts in the middle of the fight, things are going to get interesting for Thor, because once he's done his main set of abilities, his main rotation, he just kind of sits there swinging Mjolnir around.
Yeah, it's a little bit of an unfortunate thing there. He does have a lot of auto attack damage, though, with his passive. So he's not completely down and out of the fight. It's not like a Geb or Athena support type situation. It's like, okay, I used my 2 or 3 abilities, and I'm just going to stand here, pretending to hit things and do damage. Thor is still pretty effective when it's down, actually. There's a Tectonic Rift come down into Yueling now. No preemptive strike, getting charged up. Looking for the taunt under the tower, not going to find it. But it looks like right now We Love Bacon poison themselves up from attack speed buff steal.
Yeah, right now we're going to be seeing a... Yes, it is going to get picked up there by Nan. Yes, he did actually manage to grab that. Nice attack there by Phalanx Team. Going to be able to grab that. No kill actually acquired, but getting a speed buff there on the pristine side is never a bad thing. And that is going to give Phalanx Team a little bit of a golden XP advantage early on. Of course, that'll go down and up wave to wave, but having a 1.5k XP lead early on, especially getting to level 5 quicker than your enemy, is nothing to be sniffed at all here, Joe.
Definitely. There's that level 5 timing push we touch on occasionally. You hit level 5 you're ahead of your enemy, that ultimate is usually huge, regardless of what god you're on. And you have that, they don't. Well, that's some pretty huge kill potential if you can manage to land a good combination of abilities on the opponent, on your opponent's words today. Ugh. Not This is one of these days.
The utmost professionalism here.
Yeah, my mouth just doesn't want to cooperate with my brain. Over and running a little bit of back and forth going on. Sypha's looking for the stun onto Ari Troll, gonna find it. Sypha's, though, having issues with wave clear. Like, Kali's not really great at it, has the hand of the gods, is using that as soon as possible, but with 90 seconds, not a rage of the gods, so it's a little... She's a little behind right now. I'm curious where she's gonna go.
Yeah.
She's gonna finish off the boots more likely than not. Or not enough gold even, only the combat boots. That's gonna be a little rough.
And Syphos ideally wants to get that Keen Sai online ASAP because Vamana is building Smithy's hammer. That's going to go into Runeforged and is essentially the same thing as his passive. His physical protection gets converted into power, but he's also got a good amount of health coming out of that. You can see the Runeforged just got completed. So with Keen Sai, it'll do that extra bit of potency because of the Runeforged. So ideally, if Syphos can get some farm going ASAP, he can try and get that established before Orai just literally stops all over her.
Yeah. It's... How good does Kali's wave clear end up getting? With a couple levels of it.
Kali's an interesting beast in terms of wave clear. She's okay with jungle camps, but a full lane's a bit harder to do because of the nature of Lash. Because it arcs around only, you can only really guarantee one hit, but looks like you're going to be going up against Nano right over in the solo lane, gets hit a couple of times there. But bear in mind, Nimble Strike on Kali gives you a percentage health regen based on 20% of the target's missing health. That means a minion as well. If she has a deceptive amount of sustain in lane, if you leave a minion just from death, and then jump in, massive amount of health regen. But looks like over in the duo lane here, Mivterra, or MV just taking a little bit of harassment, nothing really too much there, Shoten.
Yeah, a little bit back and forth. Looks like, though, We Love Bacon just going to go ahead and get Apollo the mana buff. Ram already has his online. Athena in the back actually picking up those back harpies, making good use of those. No one nearby, no point having them sit there alive forever. Path of Flames is good use in mid lane. Marcel's gonna avoid any sort of little gank shenanigans on the back of non-rotating over. He is low, he has to be careful, as both Freya and Agni take a meatball to the face.
Yeah, and Magma Bomb is being leveled up second by Aimless. He's actually not up to... Oh, right lane, yeah, attack going out here by Vamana onto Kali, but Zyphos will be able to Nimble Strike away just before Orai could land the fatal blow. He did just get clear the path online, and Umbrella Rang. So, any of those could have killed her outright there and then. But either way, he's going to be able to get away, but Orai will be able to take some of the tower's life. And I wouldn't say, actually, with Big Baby, he might kill it here, Joden.
It's a possibility. There's a couple minions still remaining. Kali's heading back to lane as quick as she can, but...
now the minions are gone.
Get it. But decent amount of damage put on it anyway, but it looks like mid lane, or left side Harpies, they're looking for some congestion here as they were taken down quickly. There's possibly a taunt? No, Yearling just gonna let it go.
Yeah, confounded hit. And with that, the golden XP does stand at... Oh, technically in Phalanx Team's favor, it is 3.3k XP now, and 1.5k gold, making good use of the jungle camp, staying in lane farming. Wheel of Bacon is rotating quite a fair bit, but the downside to that is if you don't make anything of it, you've just lost some farm. And Phalanx Team keeps taking advantage of that. We're going to see Aimless gets hit with the Agni Bomb, getting forced to retreat out there. But Kali is here looking for Aimless. There's the instance of Gebshio coming out there to save him. Are we going to be seeing the Valkyrie's Discretion kill Aimless? Let's find out. Is not, at least not yet, going to find it. And the destruction will get popped, but nothing really too big comes in. But down comes the Apollo with Across the Skies. He might die here, Joden.
Yep, could potentially. Keck gonna take a lot of damage. Rainfire from Marcel's gonna pick that one up. As and with Dawn though coming down, looking to continue to fight. Ram rotating over. Astral Barrage coming down now as well. Gonna provide a little bit of zoning and defense. Will have deterred any further possible diving by We Love Bacon. So Phalanx Team in the end of a rather messy team fight came out with first blood and only the first blood.
Yeah, and that is something that We Love Bacon going to need to start doing, because especially with a Kali needs to start getting those targets. Ram and Agni need to start getting some kills to extent, and especially Zonk. Zonk is currently at level 8 compared to his enemy jungler, who is at level 8, but the rest of the enemy team is way over leveled. We see a level 11 Aimless, and he didn't even pick up. And a level 11 Vulcan against an enemy team who still have level 6s and 8s is a bit terrifying if you think about it.
Definitely. It's... Level 9 is the big one of the bigger timing push levels. You can get a rank 5 skill and a second rank in your ultimate altogether. The third point in your ultimate, I believe, is level 13. So that's another sort of little bigger one, but it's not such a huge deal anymore. So it's not like, oh, I hit level 13, I'm in, like, big advantage. It's like, oh, my ultimate does an extra, like, 25% damage. It's great, but it's not going to make or break anything, really.
Yeah. It's not like some of the key timing pushes. You can see things like Kali Keensai, or level 5, or or level 20, that kind of thing. So, either way, the game's... I understand why both teams are being relatively passive-ish here because of this. A little bit of harass coming out. But right now, Nan, because he's opting to level up Berserker's Barrage, isn't getting that much damage into Milne's Attunement. So, he has really nice wave clear and good farming potential, but... he hasn't got that much harass potential here, Shoten.
Yeah, definitely. A lot of it comes from the double tap when it swings back towards Thor. You hit that on a god, it's a lot of extra damage. And given that Thor usually initiates with the Tectonic Rift, and they get stunned in place for a second, it's a pretty good chance it hits. So not having that potentially a little bit of harm across the skies come down, as well as Dong finding two. Aimless with the double kill from the Earthshaker over the wall. Gonna be looking for more... perhaps. Yes, they will be going for that Gold Fury, all said and done. Agni rotating over as well as Rum.
Envy Terra and Marcel do have ultimates online if they want to try and go back to an Astral Barrage steal. Phalanx Team will get that with the Execute. There wasn't a lot of chance for Bacon to try and steal that. Nan going after Marcel in force. Marcel doesn't have the Path of Lings up for 11 seconds. In comes the Athena with Defender of Olympus to stave off Nan. If that didn't happen, that would have probably been a dead Agni. Nice play there. And that's a really key point with Athena. It's a good use. Oh, never mind.
Marcel's picking that up with the help of a Confound out of Urling. Thor stuck around just a little bit too long. You gotta be careful when you have that much crowd control with burst potential coming out. Like, yeah, you're Thor. You can throw that hammer and teleport away, but all it takes is a split second for that taunt to land, and you end up dead. I like that Urling rotated over trying to defend this tower. I don't know, and then Arbitral can really just ignore her and go for the tower.
Yeah, right now, the Athena ultimate is very nice for saying, hey, everyone, do not hit this person, because it risks huge damage if you stay in for the duration, and it risks you not being able to kill the person being channeled on, because it's a 50% damage mitigation for the duration. So... I like the fact that Yuerling is being liberal with the cooldown and not saving it up for, like, you know, I want to go for this wombo combo with Kali. No. He's staying, essentially having it on cooldown all the time is for the best, because that shows he's always using it effectively, always using it to jump across the map. Global movement is never a bad thing unless, you know, jump away from a Fire Giant or something. Yep. But at least for now, Phalanx Team is going to have to be careful of that global presence, unless, say, Thor or Gek can actually rotate over in time, but they are in opposite lanes half the time. So Wheel of Bacon, at least in team fights, until they rectify this level advantage, they just that's all they have to really be careful of.
Yep, it's taking a look at that level advantage. It's currently a 2,600 gold lead, 3,000 experience lead. Level to level is about a 1 level up for Wheel of Bacon across the board. So it's just something to keep in mind. It's not going to make a huge difference, but just, you know, something to keep... The players need to keep in the back of their heads. We're behind. We're not ahead. We're not winning this. We're not running away with this. We need to play like it. And we're not seeing Phalanx Team or Wheel of Bacon be too over-aggressive. And we're just kind of playing safe, farming up for the time being, just waiting for good opportunities to present themselves to actually commit to some sort of engagement.
We are going to be seeing, in terms of the camp control... We're seeing a good amount of control coming out by Wheel of Bacon. They're grabbing the camps and the mid camps, back camps, and Gold Furies when it comes up when they can. Which is surprising considering that Zonk is up against a Thor, who has got some of the best clear towards the early mid game. And some really nice semi-global presence, but even then, Zonk is not doing half bad.
Indeed. He's making his way around the map. It's one of the most confusing things. And suddenly there's a Freya, and it's like, whoa, Freya rotated over from that dual lane really quickly. And it's like, no, she's the jungler. She's supposed to be all over the place and not just farming all day long over there. It's like in the middle of a fight breaks out. It's like, oh, no, that wasn't a rotation. All right, Rom will be here soon. All right, good stuff. I'm curious, though. Balanced Blade is built up for Cyphus right now. That will soon-ish... How much gold in hand right now on Kali? 1,400 right now. She's almost about to be able to. It's a couple hundred more gold. I think it's 1,800 to finish up the kin size. As soon as that comes on, that's going to be like the one last big timing push potential we have coming in this game. So, but 2 games in a row, Phalanx Team and We Love Bacon have both been playing fairly safe games, not getting too aggressive. Do you think when that kin size come online, Phalanx Team might look for some big aggression or big plays on objectives?
Yeah, potentially. I mean, they do have the comp for it if you think about it, but never mind. I'll talk about it in a second. Freya trying to go for Nan here. The preemptive strike will not connect. That will be allowing them to at least retreat for now. Oh no, Yuelin gets caught. He forced the public defender of Olympus to actually escape here. Is going to be able to get away. Up goes Nan. He says, no, I'm going after you, Yuelin. You're very low. Down comes the Anvil of Dawn. Will strike the Dina and allow her to die. And Zug now going after Nan. Down comes Kek coming in for the assistance. They're going to be able to pop the shield, but Master comes in and gets interrupted by the Serenade through Path of Flames. Kek was going to be able to pick up Marcel's there, even with the Earthshake incoming. Oh, and Zonk gets picked up there by Nan as well. Phalanx Team all of a sudden pulling their trousers up and taking a really commanding lead here after the game's just kind of been plateauing here, Shoten. Nice play.
And last game we touched on it, the vision by both teams. We Love Bacon is doing a really great job once again with the word placement. They saw a couple people slightly out of position, not out of position, but just kind of alone in the jungle. And well, you know, why not go and try and kill them? And they did. They found 2 kills and then cleaned up with a 3rd on the back of that. It's a good play for them, and that's also going to give them the opportunity now to get a free gold Fury because, well, Defender of Olympus is down. Athena's mid lane, well, no reason not to take this. And then right there. Gold Fury falls, Athena not even remotely close to that in time. That's going to be the 2nd Gold Fury of the game, going the way of We Love Bacon. Aggression coming out here now. Anvil of Dawn going up for Thor. He's likely just going to use that to escape. Yeah, back to the mid lane. Just playing safe. A little too aggressive in that jungle. Although, no, he stole away that attack speed buff.
Yep. That is probably, if, you know, he gets the attack speed buff, it's nice for a Thor because he can move around a lot quicker while channeling Berserker's Barrage. It allows him to auto-attack quicker, and Thor does evolve during the match from a caster to a sort of tankier-ish auto-attacker. So, I do like the fact that he's prioritizing speed buff. We've seen him invade before. So, with that, I do like the element of the invade coming out from the Phalanx Team. We're seeing that used a lot here, Shogun, going for essentially dominant jungle control.
Yep. Even the one attack speed buff Zonk has managed to pick up this game. Geb rotated over, he warded up the attack speed buff. The positionings of both teams just didn't allow for the steal, but We Love Bacon was looking for the potential to grab it. So it's very great to be seeing that coming out. It shows that you're keeping track of timers on things. You're making good use of rotations. You want to keep the enemy team behind as much as possible just by taking those objectives. Keep an eye on the Soul lane a little bit also. Syphus has finally finished off that kin size. But given that Vimana does have the Runeforged Hammer and the Hide of the Urchin online, I don't think Kali can really look for a 1v1 kill against him.
Yeah, right now, admittedly, Zyphos does have some damage. Oh, mid lane though, Zog gonna be forced to retreat out, pops the banish on non-boundary discretion, gonna be deployed. As soon as he drops though, he has to be careful of overcontrol. He's gonna look for it. Good confound by Yueling, but Nana comes in with a single swing of Bjorn. Yeah, will pick up Zonk, but in comes the Agni Bomb, plus the Noxious Tombstone, gonna pick up Nana Earthshaker, will be aegis out by Marcel's. Up goes Ron with the Astral Barrage, is further force all-round troll back. Now Defender of Lips being challenged on top of Kali. Sim's gonna be forced to retreat out. Oritrol pops the mana ultimate. It's gonna be, that fight's just gonna kind of stalemate for now unless anyone decides to really go in hard. Oh my, Kek pulling the Apollo shenanigans. Going for that split push, Odin.
Yeah, he did get that tower down, I believe, right there. So good stuff so far. Minion waves push forward. He's looking to steal away a mana buff as well. That'll be the 5th or 6th buff steal so far, so good jungle control once again, as we've been touching on repeatedly so far this game. Apollo also has that Executioner's completed ahead of the Executioner on Rom, so given the fact that he has that Audacity passive as well. Oh, Kali actually rotating over, going to use that Serenade, stop him in his tracks. You can't gank when you're asleep.
Although, we are going to be seeing in terms of... Actually, let's have a look at the ward coverage though for a second.
Your middle tower is under attack.
Yeah, right now, Phalanx Team are doing okay with the wards. Luckily, we do see Pie Bear keeping a bit of the running with the 11 wards put down, but Will of Bacon collectively are putting down quite a fair few wards down themselves. The jungler for Wheel of Bacon, Zog putting down the most wards.
Your middle tower is under attack.
If there's one thing you can remember, ladies and gents, for your any kind of level of play, wards. Don't what your role by wards, but mid lane here, Jordan.
Yeah, Marcel's taking a little bit of poke. Was able to get back to tower safely. Ooh, this is... Oh, there. Okay, they're not going to go for it. I was going to say maybe a bit of a lazy back if Thor looks to sneak around the side and pick up a kill there. But they just went to ward up, and then, ward up again. Geb and Thor both dropping down yet another wards. You see the graph up on screen. Geb putting us 12 up to 13. Thor up to 7, so wards. As once again... Oh, actually, Thor not going to be able to steal away that buff this time around. He will, however, make it out safely using that Anvil of Dawn, but it looks like a bit of a fight commencing now, Verb.
Oh, down comes the Anvil of Dawn. Cyphos picks up none. And now up goes the Athena. We're going to see Keck will pick up Marcel's. And is there going to be any more? No, Wheel of Bacon will be forced to back up, but down comes the... Up goes the Frere, I should say. Is going to hit Keck for a good couple bits of damage, but the range is not enough to really do too significant damage. And with that, that is going to be a 1-for-1 trade in favor of nobody, but Phalanx Team still have that map control. So many wards coming down right now. This might possibly even be a Gold Fury Joden.
That's actually a little bit scary for Phalanx Team. Keck was actually 1v1ing Freya and Marcel's in the back of that fight. He found a kill in it and got out of it with pretty much his health bar entirely intact, so that's really scary this early in the game. We were 20 minutes, and the Hunter is able to 2v1. That said, Gold Fury being contested right now. Defender of Olympus does come down. Wrath of the Gods, though, going the way of Wheel of Bacon. They're able to secure that Orc Troll, picking up the kill onto Urling, as they now potentially look to... I need to say stop setting up these things like look to pursue, look to dive the tower. Because every time I say it, that's like we're done, we're leaving.
Yeah, and I can somewhat not blame them for being a little bit passive-ish, and they are keeping the dominant farm and map control. XP and gold is way in their favor. 12k XP, and I would see the gold, but my cat is in the way. 8.9k, there we go. I'm being attacked by my cat right now, unfortunately. We are going to be seeing Phalanx Team going for the kind of more of a long con kind of view on the match, which is for the best. You'd think in theory, hang on, they got the mana, they've got Thor, why don't they try and end this at like 20 minutes? I mean, but they're not, which is admirable.
Yeah. I mean, all said and done, these games are pretty good and pretty close. Not pretty good, sorry. They're decent games. All said and done. Not a, like, epic proportion games, but they're good games. They're close games. Last time we saw the game kind of going even until eventually Wheel of Bacon found that Fire Giant for free and just kind of rolled forward with that. It's like, we got the Fire Giant buff, we're taking all your towers, we're going to take your Phoenixes, and then we're going to wait for Fire Giants and take your Titan. It was kind of just that one little key thing happened, and that was just like the trigger that commenced the rest of the game. We're seeing that again this time. Yes, Wheel of Bacon's ahead a little bit, but they really haven't decided, you know, we can run with this, we're going to go super aggressive and look for kills. You get too aggressive, you make a mistake, and then the other team turns it around on you, and you find yourself like, oh, yeah, we shouldn't have done that, we lost our lead now, we're even. Well, we shouldn't have done that. And then, you know.
Well, actually, taking a step back though, looking at the builds, we do see the fairly standard builds, nothing really too surprising. Kali Witchblade is warranted considering that both Thor, Apollo, and the Mana are doing a lot of damage. So, Witchblade, I mean, there could be some things more efficient from an objective point of view, but just in shoes on the ground for Zyphos, having so much attack speed there, you want to get rid of it quick, and it also gives you the attack speed yourself. I do like that. But we are also going to be seeing a potential bit of shenanigans coming out if we don't see any pen being moved by Zyphos here shortly. But speaking of Zyphos, potential again coming out shown.
Yep, the Athena coming in with the preemptive strike that will find a taunt. Zyphos might get forced into destruction here momentarily if he survives the Cataclysm. Yes, he will. Destruction now out. The Anvil of Dawn coming down from Thor. Berserker Barrage not going to find the kill onto Zyphos. He's going to mention up with the roll, but Orbitrol picking up the kill on the Zaug. Cypher's, though, caught in a tectonic rift, still alive. Nimble Strike up in 5 or 6 seconds. Will he be able to get out? He dodged that baseball bat. Running for his life right now. Nimble Strike online. Not gonna find a way out. Turning that corner, Orchel managed to catch up, find one last hit for the kill. And it looks like right now, We Love Bacon starting up that Fire Giant now.
Your right tower is under attack.
Yeah. And if they get this Fire Giant, that is going to be a huge turnaround for them. Oh, actually, wrong word. That would be a huge accolade for them, being able to say, hey, we have significantly more push than you. What are you going to do, Bacon? They have to challenge them for it. I do like the wall coming out there from Thor, but in comes the engagement. Down comes Apollo for the assist. Non gets stunned out. Going to be forced to at least reconsider his options until the Fire Giant gets taken for the regen. Phalanx Team will well grab that. And we are going to be seeing, at least for now, Bacon, their figurative backs are not necessarily against the wall, but they're being forced back into it because their minions are pushing up, but they're going to get pushed in pretty quickly. But Bacon aren't giving up too many fights. I mean, they're losing people here and there, but we're not seeing, like, quadra kills coming out of the Bacon here, Joe.
Yeah, now, I'm actually kind of curious. The only person with a lot of golden hand right now is Nan on Thor. 1900. They're actually going to go back now anyway. They're going to pick up some wards, more likely than not, across the board. See some coming up on Geb. I imagine a Sentry Ward or two might get picked up, depending on the exact amount of golden hand after buying up some other items. But once again, we're going to likely see the grouping up, looking for some towers once again. That right lane tower already down to about half health. This is going to be the point in the game where, once again, Phalanx Team needs to choose what they're going to do as far as their defense goes. Are they going to let those towers drop?
Your right tower is
Defending those towers, it's quite difficult. They're kind of in the middle of a little, yeah, they're by a wall, but the other team can just walk around that wall and suddenly you're surrounded on both sides. What do we do? Because they're going to look to actually fight us here now that they have us surrounded. Or do they let those towers go, give the other team some gold, hope they can hold out the Phoenixes, which are much more defendable, given that the enemy team can't just walk around the backside of the Phoenix and come up behind you unnoticed, like a tower potentially.
Although, speaking of which, Phalanx Team might be looking for a siege of their own. Going to be looking for the tower. Will find a little bit of damage. They do have the 25% structure damage buff coming off of the Fire Giant. So, even a couple auto attacks will do huge numbers of damage over a period of time. But they're doing a nice job. At least We Love Bacon are doing a good job at least saving them off for now. But the tower is going to fall eventually. Oh, Nan is going up. Who's he going to look for? Zonk is in prime position, but goes for Marcel's instead. It gets Aegis out. Zonk goes up onto the wall, actually. I thought that was Valkyrie's discretion. There's Valkyrie's discretion after the bees. Down comes the Apollo. Up goes the big baby. Oratrol picks up the Apollo as Aimless will pick up Zonk. And now this is starting to look close to GG here. Well, not GG, but the process is now beginning. The Phoenix is down. That is an anchor around We Love Bacon's neck. They're going to be forced to defend that lane, or at least spend some time pushing it. That's going to allow Phalanx to start pushing these other towers here, unless Bacon responds. And if Bacon don't respond to it, they're going to lose everything. But now, Phalanx Team going to go for a couple kills here, potentially, Jordan.
Yeah, looking for Envy Terror. Meatball and a backfire to face. He's going to be dead. Siphon's in the front line, middle of 5 right now. Destruction is online and available. He could pop it or just nimble strike over the wall to safety. He's got to watch out. Thor looking potentially from the Jean's Attunement. Just pull back off that one. Zonk had just respawned. He doesn't want to get too aggressive, get caught out. You touched on the split push potential with those fire minions. With an Apollo in addition to that, Apollo can just sit in that lane, push that wave even more quickly, force more people back, and given that he's ahead, a single person on the side of Phalanx Team right now might have trouble dealing with him. Looks like a fight breaking out. This could be the last one here, Verb.
Potentially, Zyphos forced to pop Destruction as he was dropped very low. In comes Yuling with the Confound. In comes Earth. The Earthshaker will not find home on any of We Love Bacon's heads, but the Thor will down. He comes on to Zonk. Zonk forced to pop beads. Banish will not find anything, but the Valkyrie's Destruction goes up for a good amount of damage. Kali's target has been revealed. It is Oratrol. Down comes the Athena. A couple bombs over the wall here, and is there going to be a kill yet? No, Havana's back up. The execute will not happen, and the Titan here is dropping a lower and lowerless. Actually, it hasn't taken that much damage, actually. I was looking at something else. Looks like We Love Bacon, even though they've lost 2 Phoenixes, put on a valiant defense there, Shogun.
Yeah, it's a lot more coordinated than we saw last game. They said, you know, we need to defend. We need to actually fight these guys right now. Fire Giant buff just dropped. This is the time to do it before we have to deal with those Fire Minions swarming in. Let's go for it. They all went in as a team. They weren't grouped up. They didn't play back too passive. And they managed to fend off We Love Bacon right there. So good play overall. Had they gotten that pick onto Vamana, though, I think that could have gone completely different. Kali would have gotten that full health reset, or 75%. She would have gotten a lot of her health back regardless of what the actual amount is. But right now, I think Vamana's going to be a lot of trouble for them. Just they have 0 anti-healing right now on the side of Phalanx Team.
Yeah. And that seems to be a common thing coming up here in Brazil. The Brazil style is a lot of drawn-out, cautious engagements, at least starting the engagements, and then once the engagements start, it's just all-out dog-eat-dog hyper-action until it ends. There is some elements of caution in the middle of the fights, but a lot of the time, it's almost like a caution sandwich. There's caution in the beginning of the fight for initiation, but once the fight gets going, it's madness. But then, as people duck out, it's a very quick duck out. But Phalanx Team will pick up the Fire Giant basically for free. But now the fighting has begun. In comes the Apollo. Let's see if he can pick up a kill here, Joden.
Yeah, Cypher's just cut out 1v5. Destruction not going to get popped. Angel's going to pick that one up with the backfire. That means there's going to be a 4v5 defense at that right lane Phoenix. So this could potentially be bad. They're looking for the chase onto either Zauk or MV Terra. Clear the path, not going to get them close enough to actually stop them from the chase, but I have a feeling Phalanx Team might look to defend here at the Phoenix. Anvil of Dawn is coming up from Thor. Gonna find MV Terra. That's going to be a very much dead Rom.
Yep, and now Aimless is on a roll, has huge damage numbers coming out right now. He's going to force Bacon to retreat. In comes Yuling, going to be forced to go back on the tower. Zonky is going to pretty much get picked up there by Aura Control. And this is going to be GG, unless Bacon can pull out a miracle. No, the Titan will get completely focused down by the big baby. GG, well played by both teams, but Phalanx takes that 2-0.
We Love Bacon takes that 2-0. You might have had the teams backwards the whole game. Possibly. I believe we covered this at the beginning of the game when you reintroduced We Love Bacon.
I had the teams round the wrong way.
You said it once or twice in the course of that. I was just like, you know, we have trouble with words occasionally and names. It was like you said the wrong name in the course of, and I just rolled with it. You said you were talking about the right thing otherwise, but apparently, yeah. We Love Bacon took the series 2-0, defeating that Phoenix and the Titan there towards the end. There was a Phoenix that as well, so my statement wasn't incorrect. But yeah, so We Love Bacon gonna take this match as well 2-0. This time around, though, Phalanx Team is not down now. This is a double elimination tournament. They will drop down to the lower bracket. They'll be fighting in the lower bracket finals tomorrow, and they'll see between them or other teams.
Who's gonna be the
Ragnarok? Where's the cheat list? I have it here. Eternal
I had
Rally.
the cheat list up as well. Yes, there we go.
So Phalanx Team going to be facing off against Eternal Rally tomorrow, I believe, at the same time, 1 p.m. Brasilia time, 3 p.m. GMT, and 10 a.m. Eastern time. All said and done. That game, once again, Bacon Team just kind of playing it safe, playing it slow, and then just waiting for opportunities to just kind of take decisive, make a couple decisive plays. And they just kind of got the Fire Giant yet again on the back of a team fight, and that led to their victory quite quickly after that.
Yeah, and they used that map control to their advantage. We saw excellent warning coming out by both teams, but in the end, that overall jungle control coming out from We Love Bacon was just enough as what they needed. We saw things like the early rotations. We saw things like the... I mean, I don't want to keep harping on about this, but the unconventional picks. Like, a couple games ago, we saw that Poseidon jungle thing, Kali solo. It's just so unconventional, and there's a reason it's unconventional, because it just... It's a cheese play in of itself. It's naturally a cheese play. It does things that are unconventional, and it didn't work in the end against Vamana, and it made Cyphos not have enough farm he needed quickly enough to get things like Keensight online a lot slower than you would have done, say, in a jungle role, Jordan.
Yeah, I'm going to throw in a slight little... There's a little caveat to what you just said. We are looking at this from the perspective of people who typically see North America and Europe playing.
True.
I'm not terribly familiar with what the actual meta is. Poseidon very well could be a completely unorthodox jungler. Tyr could be an unorthodox jungler as well. That said, I'm not familiar enough with the scene down in Brazil to say that, yeah, that's an unusual pick. It could just been that it's something they usually do. It usually works quite well, and we just didn't see it do too well in these particular matchups. Because again, we're not terribly familiar with these teams. Yeah. For all we know, it's just something I want to touch on here in a moment as well, the teams themselves, but...
I suppose that's an interesting learning experience for all of us here. That's one of the reasons we put this thing on. Or like started like casting this particular one. The idea of it was because we could learn and showcase off to you guys what is actually going on in the other metas, and it's an interesting eye-opener of what people are deciding to do. But I suppose, like any good test, we'll need a bigger sample size before we can really make a decision. Like, you always see the occasional weird, flamboyant play, so if we do a few more of these, I'd like to see how things come out here, Jotun.
Yeah, you're talking about the flamboyant picks. There's the, that Thanatos in the SPL and wildcards.
Yeah.
Like, picked every single game with, like, a 5% win rate.
Oh,
it's like, they do it
shame.
Anyway. Yeah, this is all stuff, like, interesting stuff hopefully we learn a little bit about. But what I wanted to touch on, so we saw 4 games so far today total. One of the teams, I believe Ragnarok, is out of contention for the first place in this tournament. They still will move on to the LAN. They did qualify for that just by placing in the top 4. So we'll be seeing these teams playing again, potentially in the beginning of December at least. What you've seen so far, how do you think these guys are going to be against some of the teams we're seeing going to World, or potentially going to World so far? Because the EU Regionals is going on today. Catching little bits and pieces. Yeah, right now. Catching little bits and pieces between waiting for matches to start up. What do you think so far from what you've seen compared to like the EU or NA scene?
Well, EU NA is I mean it's I would only do sort of ancillary comments because Brazil has had not that much time compared to EU and NA. EU and NA have become the old guard. They had the game for long enough, so by right, they have evolved slightly more, and they have things down to a science. Brazil and China, and to an extent, well, soon to be Australia. Australia now are in. They're still evolving, and it's interesting to see, but I honestly think, unless we see some sort of really big shenanigans come out, EU or NA are going to be top picks. I mean, picks to win.
I have to agree with this then.
It's just natural.
Yeah, the newer team... The team cohesion is a big part of it. The likes of... basically everyone's still in the North American scene. Everyone's still in the European scene. For the most part, they have been playing with each other now for at least a few months. They've been in the pro scene for a long time before that. There's a lot of trades going back and forth, and the actual team lineups changed around quite a bit. But... they've been playing amongst each other for a while. Your pro players on Dignitas are familiar with playing with your pro players on... I'm completely drawing blanks on teams. Some other NA pro team that I can't think of. Dignitas.
Hold up.
Yeah, I know. This is...
We just love blanking today, don't we? I don't know what it is. Is this... Did we drink something that's causing us to blank?
I have water, in theory. I mean, as far as I know, it's just water. But yeah, the teams are familiar with it. They play league matches all the time. They run up against each other. They play on the same teams. So even if the team lineups change, for the most part, they get used to each other fairly quickly. They develop a little bit of cohesion. They play together for a few weeks before any big event comes up. Unless you're poor, what was it, Team Coast? Not Team Coast, Thirst. Poor Team Thirst. Never had a cohesive team, and... the lack of cohesion. They had a lot of games where they started doing quite well. 1 or 2 little mistakes would come out, a little miscommunication, and the team just sort of crumbled. We saw that a little bit earlier. Phalanx Team that at the game 1, defending those Phoenixes, like they weren't sure if they wanted to go start a fight, just sit back and wait. And while they were kind of not making a proper decision, We Love Bacon just took the Phoenix. So it's like things like that you learn from just having more experience playing in a pro scene.
Yeah. So in the end, it's gonna be, as Kronos likes to say himself, it's a matter of time. It's a case of the scene maturing, seeing how the teams come out. I'm gonna reserve I'm gonna hold my cards close to my chest until I see the actual worlds, because I don't know what's happening to an extent in Brazil, and not a clue what's going on in China right now.
Yeah.
So I'm very excited to see how the world actually turns out, Jotun.
Yeah, definitely. There's also South America. They have a seat there
That
as
is
well.
true.
It's separate from Brazil.
Brazil and South America are technically different regions. In the case of Smite, at least. So, for all intents and purposes, this is looking to be a very potentially fun SWC. So, unless you've got any other thing, should we cut to break? Or is this end of show?
I believe this is end of show. Let me just double check.
Oh, is it?
Smite all you've seen. Yeah, there's 2 matches today, I believe. And then the lower bracket finals and upper bracket finals tomorrow.
Tomorrow, alright.
Yeah, that is it for today. Both games did get taken in a 2-0 sweep, so congratulations to We Love Bacon. They'll be moving on to the upper bracket finals straight away. They'll have a 1-game lead advantage going to that just for the sake of not having lost yet. One team between Phalanx Team and Eternal Rally will be coming back from that lower bracket to fight We Love Bacon. We'll see tomorrow, or at some point in time, at least. Sometime before Wednesday, we will in theory have these other games cast. I don't know, tomorrow. Viewer counts kind of...
In theory.
EU Regional is a little more popular at the moment for some strange reason I'm not aware of.
Just a smidge.
Smidge
but in the end, you know, this is Smite Mod for a reason. We are recording this, so hello for the future. Just
Indeed.
FYI.
So I know that a lot of people were curious about this. Thank you guys for watching these VODs on Smite VOD, and the couple of you who stuck around watching on Twitch, thank you guys very much as well. And those of you who checked in earlier, unfortunately there was a bit of a delay getting this underway. I know quite a few people stopped by before the regional started up, wanted to check this out, and we were sitting on a wait screen for 50 minutes straight because, well, they just never started the match, so... yeah, production things.
We can't even blame replays. We worked off live today, which is good to know that live is somewhat working in the Brazil client.
As long as you're not on Europe, the replays
as long
work.
as you're not,
or the spectator works. It's just the European spectator stuff that's broken beyond like saving. So yeah.
But in the end, thank you very much for watching. Unless you got any final thoughts, Joden, or anything to add?
No, that
I suppose we get plugs. Yeah, plugs one up. Yeah, you could, if you're wondering who I am, I'm Verbalocity. You can find me on my Twitch channel, twitch.tv/Verbalocity, at Verbalist on Twitter. Just look up Verbalocity, you'll find me. On YouTube, Oliver Verbalocity, or The Verbalocity, one of the two. Who are you? Was it hard? Who the hell are you, Joden? Where can we find you?
I'm Zayden. I'm the Smite VOD guy, essentially. I have my YouTube channel, youtube.com/Zayden. It's, I have too much stuff on my plate. I really haven't had a chance to upload many videos for that recently. I don't really stream much either, but twitch.tv/Zayden. You can find my stuff on youtube.com/SmiteVOD, all replays, spoiler-free as humanly possible on YouTube. That's youtube.com/SmiteVOD, also the channel we're actually streaming this for right now. You'll be seeing this stuff here shortly. As well as the Smite Event VODs subreddit. Actually, there'll be links to that in the description below. I'm not going to try to remember the actual spelling of that. It's a little bit of a longer one.
Yeah.
And also going to plug, there is in fact a Smite VOD app. It's in beta testing. There's info for that on the Smite Event VOD subreddit, again, in the description below. It's going to be messy, the EU regional stuff, the best of fives. I never actually got around to properly implementing. It's like, it's too much stuff and all that stuff. That also said...
Joden's a very busy bee.
Yeah,
put it that way.
And then one more shameless plug, because why not? You can also catch me and Verbalocity, for the most part, casting the crap out of ourselves Mondays, Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Fridays, casting for the EGL. You can check those matches out on twitch.tv/EGLTV. Because, casters, please, we don't have many, so it's usually us.
Well, we have, they just don't turn up half the time, so it's just you and me. You and me alone in the casting booth, like today.
Indeed.
On holiday in Latin America.
Anyway, it was a good day today. We saw some good matches. Got a little bit of an insight to these teams. I'm hoping tomorrow's matches may be a little more exciting. Phalanx Team, not Phalanx Team, We Love Bacon and Eternal Rally doing quite well compared to their opponents. So I'm curious if Eternal Rally makes it back up, how they'll fare against We Love Bacon, or if maybe Phalanx Team can kind of wrap things up, get themselves together, and pull the victory out over Eternal Rally. Like, I think I got all these names right that time. Wow.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Hey, we got names right for a change. Huzzah.
Since me and Verb are both the kings of prompt and short, sweet outros before we sit here for another 20 minutes rambling on about one thing or another.
Yep.
Hey, thanks for watching, guys. I'm Zayden, for my co-caster Verbalocity. Have a great night.